Hey, football fans, before we get the show started, I want to remind you about FanDuel. Now, FanDuel is the best place to put your skills to the test this week and win cash. And here's the thing about FanDuel is they've really ramped up their new features this year, including their league features. It's very easy to get into leagues with other people, and you can get in a league with us, a listener league on FanDuel by going to FanDuel.com/ballers. They have upgraded their reward from last week. They've got over $2 million in prizes given out this week, including the FanDuel's Sunday $1 Million Tournament, which is awesome. And there are beginner contests. There are big tournaments for experienced players. There is everything that you need to upgrade your Sunday, make it great, make it enjoyable. And you can go to FanDuel right now, put in the promo code BALLERS, or if you want to get in the league with us, go to FanDuel.com/ballers and click the Join Now button and get involved with us on FanDuel this weekend. It's exciting, it is fun, and it is a great way to add a little bit of excitement to an already exciting weekend. So let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast, coming to you from the FantasyJocks.com studios with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
It's Wednesday. Woo!
That's W-I-N.
Oh.
It's Wednesday, yo.
Oh, you are a wordsmith.
That's what I'm known for, really, is grammatical accuracy and incredible Shakespearean language.
You know what we're doing right now?
Whoa!
Breaking news.
You know that we have a news section.
I know we do.
This is the
I don't
earliest
care.
breaking news we've ever had.
When the news breaks, the news breaks. And I'm starting the show with the news that Donte Moncrief has a fractured shoulder blade, and he is out 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh.
Yep.
So we'll talk about the implications on in the news segment, but we just got that news.
Hot tip, pause the podcast, browse your waiver wire. If Phillip Dorsett is there, you grab him immediately.
No, that's a really good point. Now,
and then
waivers probably
listen to the rest of the show.
Waivers probably went through by the time you're listening to this.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Waivers have run,
Sure.
so it's free for most people.
No, you're right.
So go pick up Dorsett.
I'm curious
A lot
on
of
that.
injury updates, though.
You know, they moved to kind of the 3 wide receiver set this year. That wasn't what they did last year. Last year they were the 2 tight end, 2 wide receiver bases. Like that's
a good point.
More common. I wonder if Jack Doyle, having shown that he can do stuff, I wonder if they end up moving to a more common Phillip Dorsett along with Jack Doyle, Dwayne Allen, and T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, I mean, I think it upgrades Allen a little bit as well. It's a tough situation. It's interesting, though. I mean, you look at a game like Miami last week. Do you know what the snap count was for those 3 wide receivers? What percentage of snaps do you think that Kenny Stills, Jarvis Landry, and Devontae Parker had, if you had to guess?
Well, unfortunately, I saw that Kenny Stills was like 98% snap count.
Yeah. What do you think about the other 2, Landry and Parker?
Landry, if I just had to guess, I would guess 100% or 98%.
You do have to guess.
Okay, so 98%.
All right,
and then Parker, I would go 70%.
And that's the surprise. 98, 94, 92.
Wow.
They were in 3 wide almost the entirety of the game. All 3 of them out there, whether they were getting beat or not.
So they were losing badly.
Yeah, but you don't get to 92% by starting the game in 2 wide and then moving. I mean, that's
Sure.
the whole game. So kind of an impressive number. And target-wise, Parker had – and I only said that because you brought up Indianapolis.
Was that from our snap count article?
It was from
I haven't had a chance to look at that, but I'm telling you guys, make sure on Wednesdays.
Oh, it's my favorite article of the week.
I just love that article. It's coming out. It's hot.
That seems very self-promoting.
well,
But we didn't write it. So
yeah, exactly. It's genuinely worth checking out.
Yeah, Marcus Meany wrote it, and he writes it every week, and it's out there on the website right now, thefantasyfootballers.com. I want to get into the quick question, guys, and I want to ask you this because it's important, and rarely, except for in the last 2 years, is there a circumstance quite like this. I guess with Seattle there was. This question comes in off of Twitter from Mike. He says, is any quarterback safe to start against the Denver defense? Is any quarterback safe to start against the Denver defense? What is your take? Is there anybody you would start against them?
Yes.
Who?
Cam Newton.
Okay.
No, I
That's
mean
already
that's
done.
that. It is already done, and so we won't
And
see that again
he didn't
this
play
year.
well.
He didn't play well, but he did all right for fantasy. I think he finished, I want to say, like 10th that week. But the fact that he can get it done with his legs, he can get a rushing touchdown down near the goal line, and it's not just a passing game. Other than that, I don't feel confident starting any other quarterback. Now, if I've got an Aaron Rodgers, or a Carson Palmer, guys that are usually weekly starts, I would look to the waiver to see if there's a guy I love. Like this week, you've got Matt Ryan's great matchup. He's available on the waivers. I would consider something like that situationally, but I would still probably play my studs.
So I've done this scientifically where I actually pulled up their schedule, and I'm browsing through it, going through the matchup, seeing who I would actually be willing to play Week 10 at New Orleans. So it's Drew Brees at home, so I will still be comfortable starting that because Denver is on the road. And then Week 15 will be Thomas Brady, and I will gladly start Tom Brady against Denver.
So looking at the numbers for last year, quarterback points against Denver was the lowest in the league. 12 was the average. 12 points a game. This year, thus far, through 2 games, the average is 15.6. Obviously, you only have 2 games. One of them was Andrew Luck. One of them was Cam Newton. So you have 2 of kind of the higher upside guys, and they still kept them to 15 points. I would consider starting those 2 guys you said, but if I had a better matchup, I'd go with that.
Yeah, at least DeMarcus Ware is out for a couple weeks, and that changes things when your pass rush isn't able to
quite as incredible.
Isn't quite as good.
There's a big difference.
All right, let's do this. Once a week or so, we like to look at the reviews from iTunes and read one of them in Jason's special review voice. And we really appreciate practice, please. And really, that's not the tone isn't normally the issue with you.
No, it's the
normally
ability
the
to read.
pronunciation. So we're going to do that right now. We appreciate the reviews on iTunes and the way you support the show. So here we go.
Review-a-saurus Rex.
This one comes in from Maddie. Word up.
Word up.
And he says, making fantasy football better than it already is. That's the title. He says, thankful to have been paired up on the golf course with a random stranger, David, who told me that if I play fantasy, there's only one thing I need to check out to guarantee to make my season better, and that was the fantasy footballers. Immediately subscribed and couldn't be happier about it. Everyone seems to be a fantasy analyst these days, but these guys are the real deal. Super genuine, informative, and truly out to make every week a W for your squad. Can't wait to be around for the long haul with these guys. Hashtag keep pounding?
Keep pounding.
I believe that's there's a team. That's a team motto of some sort.
Well, keep pounding out there, everybody. Hey, I would just like to say I made it all the way through.
Yes.
I read.
And I think David deserves a thank you as well as Maddie.
Yeah, thanks,
Maddie,
David.
word up.
Yes.
This
Thank
is
you,
the
David.
key here. We try to convince you to tell your league mates about us, but we're delusional about the reality of that situation. But if you're on a golf course with a random stranger,
It's perfect.
that's a perfect situation.
I've come up with 2 rules for the Foot Clan. We were talking about Fight Club the other day, and so here, rule number 1, you don't talk about the Foot Clan. Rule number 2, disregard rule number 1, and please tell your friends
There
and
you
family
go.
about the Foot Clan.
All right, thank you for that review. We appreciate it, and we definitely do try to make your fantasy
Yes, thank
year
you very much.
more fun and
That
more
includes-
victories.
yeah.
Withstanding victories.
Those genuinely they go together a lot.
All right, follow us on Twitter at the FF Ballers. Check out the website, thefantasyfootballers.com, and get involved with the community of fantasy footballers, listeners, at jointhefoot.com. So we're going to jump into a very full, jam-packed, overflowing with mostly bad news section.
News and notes from around the league.
All right. Look, I'm going to hit the big news first. We just talked about Donte Moncrief, 4 to 6 week injury. Blah. Not good. Very unfortunate for Moncrief. It seems as though, as is often the case with Mike's breakouts, they just don't get an opportunity to try.
Hey.
Speaking of which, Ameer Abdullah placed on IR.
It's no good.
Foot injury.
Also with the update of pick up Phillip Dorsett, There is a chance that Dwayne Washington passed through your waivers unclaimed, so I would grab him immediately. His role will increase.
Yeah, Riddick isn't really a between the tackles guy at all. I mean, they're going to give him some opportunities there, but you're talking about single digits, in my opinion. And so Dwayne Washington, Zach Zenner is going to probably be active.
He'll be activated. I don't think he'll
Now,
get
did you hear the more important news?
Yes, I did. I was going to say.
Also the least important news?
Joique Bell was working out.
Yes, the Foot Clan was very excited to let us know on Twitter about Joique Bell.
He did a workout?
Yeah, he went down there and worked out with them. Did you guys watch the workout?
No.
They actually had
I don't watch those.
Wait, they got footage of the workout?
Audio?
Yeah,
or?
did you hear Joique Bell ran the 40. I don't know if our listeners
part of the workout.
Well, he ran the 40. The audio of that is unbelievable. I was like, is this guy's running the 40. Listen to this.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
It's rumbling and stumbling down the yard.
Hey, hold on, it's almost over. He's still going.
It takes about 7.8 seconds.
Oh, Joique Bell.
We missed you.
We did miss you.
Welcome back. Almost. Hey, this is great.
He's almost back.
It's so good that he has not signed, because you know what that means? That means that if he signs, we get to talk about Joique Bell one more time.
Yeah.
All right. So realistically, Theo Riddick, I think, gets about 10% more volume in that offense. That's my real belief. He's great, though. I mean, he's the most trusted. He's a pass blocking guy, and he's a third down guy. And I believe he will just be very active, and I love him.
I believe he gets more than a 10% bump, and the reason why is because who they are either going to bring in, whether they elevate Dwayne Washington or whether it's Zach Zenner or whether it's Joique Bell, the ability as a pass catcher is not there. And Ameer Abdullah was still very involved in the passing game, and so I believe that what we're going to see now is maybe Riddick stays the same on the ground. It doesn't have any increase in rushing attempts. But I think that his passing volume will actually increase. So if I'm in a PPR league, how do you not think that Theo Riddick is going to be at least a locked and loaded RB2?
Yeah, he'll be a monster in PPR.
All right, let's talk about the other huge story
yes.
this morning. Adrian Peterson is going to be out for a while, and likely the remainder of the year. He needs full. The latest report that we can give you is that he needs a full meniscus repair. Not originally thought maybe they fixed it a little bit, and he's back in 3 to 4 weeks. It's 3 to 4 months, maybe up to 6 months.
That was minimum. 3 to 4 months minimum.
Yeah, and even Paul Charchian, if you're not familiar with him, spectacular sports guy up in Minnesota, and even he tweeted out there is an excellent chance this is the last time you will see Peterson in Minnesota.
Yeah,
which is
it makes sense. I mean, if he doesn't get back on the field this year
when they
at his age with that money, that salary,
they will save a ton of cash if they.
Now here comes Matt Asiata into the huddle.
Asiata can still move. All right, I don't buy that.
No, look, Asiata is the guy that I am looking at because of the value. Now, obviously, Jerick McKinnon, if you want to take that leap, he's obviously since the last time Adrian Peterson has had a major injury, it's there's been a maturity of Jerick McKinnon and more trust of Jerick McKinnon. I think they would love McKinnon to offer them what Asiata just can't do, which is Asiata can be a 2-down banger, but he can't.
Asiata's the passing downs guy.
Maybe.
We don't know. He's not the passing downs
when
guy.
Peterson was suspended, Asiata was the pass-catching guy.
Yeah, Asiata averaged 13.55 points when Adrian Peterson was out in PPR. And
you're talking about 2 years ago.
Yes, it's much
McKinnon
different
was
now.
the third down back last year, and he was very successful at it. And so we can debate, I guess. I think they'll both be out there. That's fine. If Asiata is the more trusted pass blocker, there are situations he'll be out there for. But McKinnon offers you big playability that Asiata doesn't offer you. You would agree with that, right?
Absolutely.
Yes. But
the goal line is going to be Asiata.
The situation for me is we don't know exactly how the split is going to go. So it's like, let's say you're buying a T-shirt. You can go to the mall, you can buy that T-shirt, or you can go down to Savers and buy one that's pretty similar because you just don't know. So I'm going to go save that cash, and I'm going to pick up Asiata for cheaper.
Right. And if you're desperate, for a running back, and you need to spend on these two guys. They're going to have a role.
Yeah, for a long time.
I mean, that's one
now.
of those things. I mean, would you rather have, Asiata than Dwayne Washington?
Yes. For me, I would.
That one's the unknown of Washington is so alluring.
Okay. What about guys like Shane Vereen?
Yeah. Jennings is supposed to be back this week with coming off of the hand injury.
Yeah, I think I would go Asiata there as well.
Okay. Makes sense. What about Fozzie Whitaker? Would you rather have?
Nah, Fozzie's a short-term guy, and they
have a tough matchup in week 1
and
against Minnesota.
They've already talked about him, the coaching staff. They view him as the change of pace guy.
So Artis Payne will be active in that situation.
Yes.
All right. Jay Cutler, sprained thumb day to day, did not need surgery. So there you go.
That turns
big news. Chargers signed Dexter McCluster.
We knew they would grab somebody. Ken Wisenhunt is very familiar with McCluster from his time in Tennessee. I think McCluster's he's not a terrible pickup.
No, I think he's a must pick up. I don't expect him to be great, but there is the opportunity being left by Danny Woodhead that fits Dexter McCluster's skill set, at least in the passing game, that says there could be enough value here. Now, he's not as good as Danny Woodhead. I mean, Danny Woodhead I don't know why Danny Woodhead from college, even his college production was amazing, and he just never got the respect because
he's small, because he's the heart ring.
Because he's the heart ring. He's a tiny guy. So he won't be able to replicate that, but there will be fantasy points there. I tried to add him in all of my deep leagues last night, so Dexter McCluster worth picking up.
Okay. All right, fair. What is the other big news we got? We have
we have that the Boston Herald expects, or they think. Sorry, I won't go expect. They think that this is the week that Gronk will make his debut.
Okay.
So pay attention.
Now, will he make his debut with Jimmy Garoppolo?
Probably not.
You guys have seen the blurb?
Yeah,
allegedly. I'm going air quotes here.
Julian Edelman is being prepared as the backup quarterback.
So I can't stand the matchup and the quarterback play for Julian Edelman this week, but I am so tempted to play him for that opportunity.
I've got him. I'm playing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the offensive opportunity for New England this week. With
Belichick finds a way
against Houston.
Belichick finds a way.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough.
You know what it'll be? It'll be one of those games where New England somehow wins it, and it's going to be 2 defensive touchdowns for them and 1 offensive touchdown.
Maybe.
And they'll win 21-14 or something, and we'll be like, how did he do that again?
And Edelman will get you his 5 for 60 or 6 for 70.
All right, let's continue this show here. We have a mailbag, but we also have Keep, Trade, Cut. We're going to discuss a number of names, big decisions you have to make. Do you stay in the flames with guys? Do you hold them? Do you trade them? Or do you cut them?
Keep, Trade, Cut.
All right, Coby Fleener, the much-hyped Coby Fleener, 12 targets but only 3 catches, or 2 catches last week. Really doesn't seem – see, he's the guy that he's going to have 2 or 3 big games this year. There's just no question. The passing volume in New Orleans, but you can't really bank on that. And so there seems to be a number of guys that you would drop him for. What do you guys think? Keep, trade, cut Coby Fleener.
I'm gonna keep him
as of now, and keep in mind that I love Coby Fleener. I still expect him to have a solid back half of the year. I really do. I would cut him. I mean, for now, if there is a better option, I mean, I'm fine keeping him. Like right now, him and Gary Barnidge to me are very similar in the sense that if I have to play him, I think there's as good a chance that those guys have a good week any week that as most guys on waivers. But if on the waivers there is a good option, a good matchup, or someone, Eric Ebron is still on waivers for a lot of leagues. I would rather just cut these guys and grab an Eric Ebron. So it's really dependent upon what's on your waivers. But I'm not just like holding, that Braveheart hold. I'm not doing that with either of these guys. I'm moving forward and saying I need to win now, but I'm going to keep my eyes on them and completely be willing to pick them back up.
Let's talk about Andy Dalton. Keep, trade, cut Andy Dalton. He's got a Denver matchup this week. We just talked about this. What do you do with Andy Dalton? Do you roster 2 quarterbacks? Because I don't play him against Denver.
Yeah,
especially at Denver.
I'm okay cutting him. he's a guy that you can likely pick right back up off the waiver wire.
Okay, keep trade cut Eddie Lacy. Now, Eddie Lacy has been pretty disappointing this season. Certainly not an RB1 guy, barely a 2-ish.
I will say he has been disappointing for fantasy, but with the work that he's been getting, he's been fine. He's been efficient. He's just the entire Green Bay offense they're still in that dumpster fire from last year.
You know what efficiency's worth, Mike? Just about nothing to me. I don't get efficiency bonuses for single-digit fantasy games. 2 weeks in a row, single-digit for him. The fact that you rose-color that tells me that there's a problem here.
There is
because
a problem.
He can play that efficiently and get nothing for you.
But I think the difference that you're seeing, though, is he has played well. He has looked okay. He hasn't performed for fantasy. But there's a big difference. Like, take Eddie Lacy versus a Jeremy Hill, right? If they don't get a touchdown, Jeremy Hill is putting up like 2 fantasy points, whereas Eddie Lacy is still getting 60, 70 yards on the ground. I'm not thrilled with getting 6, but my point is he looks like a guy who could have a game with 100 yards. Like, when I watch the game, I don't see there's no opportunity for Jeremy Hill to run for 100.
Why do we feel the need to defend Lacy in this fashion when he wasn't good last year? And he's been single-digit on the draft value this year. He loses complete drives to Starks at crucial points of the game and non-crucial points of the game. Why do we feel the need to defend Eddie Lacy and this offense? Because I'm tired of defending this offense.
Here's why. You need to. I'm not defending the Green Bay offense, but here's why you defend Eddie Lacy. Because when you're talking keep, trade, cut, you cannot trade him. You're not getting value for him. You can't cut him because he's too valuable to be cut. If he was on the waiver wire, he would have been our number 1 pickup. I mean, would you rather have Eddie Lacy or Jerick McKinnon?
Well, I wasn't looking in the frame of the keep trade cut yet. I was just bringing him up as a name of that. That's my fault.
Yeah,
I would keep Eddie Lacy. I'm talking more in the sense of what you expected out of him. You're not getting 13 rushes a game. Does not do it.
You have to see him right now as a flex option, and you need 2 other starting running backs if you're in a 2-2 flex league.
So I think he has a chance at a really good game this week. The Lions have been bad against the run, 5.1 allowed per carry. If I don't see it this week and then I'm heading into the bye with him, I'm trying to find another solution for my team if he's my 1 or 2.
And that's fine. The hard part with Eddie Lacy is that every week he could have a good week. That's the upside is there for Eddie Lacy. I mean, even against Minnesota, who has an incredible run defense. I know they were missing some key pieces, but 12 for 50. I mean, he's been over 4 yards a carry both weeks.
We're going to pause for just a second because I need you guys to guess something.
Okay.
Don't look at your computers. The one thing that's fun about this show is that we play fantasy football, and the waiver wire breaks in the middle of the show. And so you get to see the actual.
I already know
what we bid and those things. And so what I want to know is
McKinnon went for 50 to someone, didn't
he? No.
Owned.
McKinnon was already owned.
Oh.
Good knowledge of our league, Jason.
Well, we're in several leagues.
No, you're right. And so what I want to know from you guys is what you think Asiata went for in our league and who you think he went to. Hint, hint, it's me.
Oh, dang it. I was going to say, I really hope he went for $13 to me.
You only bid $13 on it.
Yeah.
Wow, that means
I spent way too much money.
What? Did you drop 20? 25?
I dropped $31.
What?
You had to.
Wow.
I lost Jonathan Stewart and Arian Foster. The news this morning, Matt Asiata will be involved in every single game the rest of the season. Now, the next highest bid on Asiata was $15. So I had raised my bid from 20 to 31 in fear of losing him. Whitaker went for 18.
Oh, gross.
Kenyon Drake went for 18.
What? Guys.
Dwayne Washington.
Did I get him?
Went for 13.
That means I got him.
To Mike.
Man, this is
and you know what I
news.
bid on Washington was I bid $31 on Dwayne Washington as well.
Wow.
I'm happy with that swap.
Desperate times, man.
Look, we have a team in our league that lost AP and Woodhead this week. I figured there were going to be some fights on the waiver wire.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It is important, and we probably should have brought it up last week, but you bring up a good point that, or yesterday, that you need to know your league. Is your league the type that bids more? Then don't just, if we say bid 5 or 10 on a guy, you gotta be aggressive and make your moves. I'm happy that I lost out on everybody because I didn't I mean, when other teams are depleting their fab, hey, that's great.
Yeah, there will be more opportunities moving forward.
All right. Keep trade cut DeAngelo Williams.
Ooh, well, cut is out of the equation. It's just, do you trade him?
That's the name of the segment, Mike. I have to say it with every player.
Cut him. Cut him on the wrist.
Dude.
And then,
come on.
I shouldn't have gotten
shooting players in the leg? Cutting them on the wrist?
That was
It's
my
a
bad.
dumb joke, and it's
We have a masochist on the show.
we do have a masochist.
He was traded in one of our leagues, our league of record. He was traded yesterday in a deal that I think was just amazing for the Le'Veon Bell owner to go and get DeAngelo Williams. For me, what we've seen out of D-Will, I think that's the only way you trade him, right? If you're trading him to the Le'Veon Bell owner and the Le'Veon Bell owner is willing to pay up, that's a good deal. Otherwise, you got to keep him because there is no handcuff in the league. I mean, I've got
that can be an auto one.
I've got DeAndre Washington is on my bench. I'm not dropping him for these other guys because I think he could be a great back if Latavius Murray gets injured. Guys like that. But he's nothing compared to DeAngelo Williams if Le'Veon Bell gets injured. So
sure.
he's a probable keep, a possible trade, only in the right situation. Before we get to more guys, I have been looking forward to my opportunity to talk about this sponsor.
Yes, you have.
I have, genuinely.
You've been way more well-dressed lately. Way more well-dressed?
Hey, you sound like me.
That doesn't sound right.
Well, I might not speak well, but I look good right now thanks to 5'4". 5'4", you've heard us talk about him a little bit.
I want to say something real quick.
Sure.
Before you talk about 5'4". What I love is that we bring up a couple of sponsors of the show, and they're the ones that help fund a 5-day-a-week, year-round thing. I love it when we got a tweet yesterday. It was just like, I check out every sponsor that they mention because they're actually good products.
Well, we turned down a lot of sponsors.
That's actually important to us.
We definitely are selective with our sponsors, but this one we actually sought out. Andy was with 5'4" for half a year before we ever looked for them, and now Mike and I have gotten on board. I got my first 5'4", and it's amazing, guys. I haven't even said really what it is. You're talking about clothes here, high quality, really nice clothes. Very good style. Like, I have no idea how to dress myself. I never have. My wife has always had to take care of that, or I look like an idiot. And
more like it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go out and really spend my time shopping. So 5'4", every month they're going to send you a box with $120 worth of clothing value for $60 a month. I mean, it's just great. And you know it looks good. You know it's going to fit you. Everything fits so nice. I really encourage you to do this. And so here's what you need to do. If you want to find out how easy 5'4 Club really is, you go to 54club.com. That's all spelled out, the words 5'4". Use the promo code BALLERS at sign up, and they are giving you 2 packages your first time. So you get $240 worth of amazing, high-quality, nice-looking, good-fitting clothing for $60. We recommend them. Check them out. That's 54club.com. Use the promo code BALLERS.
And another long-term sponsor for us, SeatGeek. You know, football's back. They're the smartest. The SeatGeek app is the smartest, easiest way to find tickets for the games that you want to see up close and in person this season. We love the simplicity of this app. It is so easy to find the exact best seat that you want. You see the ticket map, and you see which seats are the best value. That's what I like about this. You find the best deal and the best value. We've used this repeatedly to go to games out here, to see the Cardinals on a Thursday night or a Sunday night or a Monday night game, those big games. It's the first place we go to look for games and for, concerts, or for, when I was in New York, I used SeatGeek to get tickets to a show on Broadway. And so everything inside the SeatGeek app is designed to make it easier for you. They do the price comparison, like I said, and they give you the most bang for your buck. So right now, listeners of the show get a $20 rebate off your first SeatGeek purchase. You just go download the free SeatGeek app, go to the settings tab, click add a promo code, enter the promo code footballers, and SeatGeek will send you $20 after you've made your first ticket purchase. So download the free SeatGeek app and enter the promo code footballers today. Now, back to Keep Trade Cut before we get into the mailbag.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
I think we might need a breaking news button.
Whoa.
Not more?
This one's good.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Breaking news.
I'm terrified of that button right now.
You should be, Mike, because the great and powerful Twitter has answered a question that we have posed of whether Mike should have to pay out his Ivory Yeldon water bet from last week? And the answer is 71%.
It's going to be yes.
Mike Wett.
Yeah. And I realized as I was making my defense of
that it didn't matter.
Well, no. Once the Ivory news broke in week 1, Yeldon jumped up to my running back 13. So if I'm putting him at 13, why would I bet he's not in the top 20?
I agree,
but I'll take it.
Twitter's spoken, There's nothing we can do.
Twitter is vicious. I'll tell you that.
There's just no chance that a poll was going to say, yeah, don't pour water on him.
If Twitter is like, can something bad happen to that person? You're like, yeah, please.
All right. Keep, trade, cut Golden Tate. Well, you can't trade him at this value, and you're not going to cut Golden Tate with the target volume.
Sounds like you're keeping him.
That's an easy keep.
That's the important part, though, because he's the perfect type of player that people will say, oh, he's not involved. Cut him. Do not cut him.
Keep, trade, cut Doug Martin, and I'm going to throw a twist in there. It's keep, trade for. Would you trade for Doug Martin?
Did we mention the update that Doug Martin is expected to miss 3 weeks?
I don't think we did. Yeah,
okay, so Doug Martin's expected to miss 3 weeks with a hamstring. And then right after those 3 weeks is the bye week. So I would expect that Martin will be out through the bye week.
Should you go trade for him?
I think if you have an IR spot, I would love to trade for him in the sense that, he's going to be good when he comes back. And honestly, the games he's missing right now are great games to miss. I mean,
is he actually injured or did he just look at the upcoming schedule?
He's playing against the Los Angeles Rams, good run D, then Denver, then at Carolina, then a bye week. After the bye? From then on out, you are smooth sailing. Listen to this schedule after the bye, assuming he's back in week 7. You got San Francisco 49ers, Oakland Raiders, Atlanta, Chicago. That's great. And his playoff schedule? Weeks 14, 15, 16, New Orleans, Dallas, New Orleans.
Yeah.
So I would say if you can stash him and if you can get him cheap, I would trade for him. But keep in mind, it's going to be taking up a big chunk of your roster for a while.
I have some other names we have to discuss. Keep, trade, cut TJ Yeldon.
Oh, Ivory's back in practice. Oh, what do you do with TJ Yeldon?
I had someone, I should look this up. Someone literally, I remember what it was. This was during the show. Someone just asked me, do I cut TJ Yeldon for Matt Asiata?
Oh, man.
Do I cut TJ Yeldon for Matt Asiata? I don't think so.
No?
No.
I don't think so either.
I still think Yeldon, they've had a couple of difficult matchups. You had a circumstance with –
What?
They did. Green Bay has been great against the run this year.
The Chargers who got destroyed by Ware went off on the Chargers' run D.
Because they were winning by 35 points. And Ware went off against them in the passing game. He did not go off on them in the running game.
TJ Yeldon caught 8 passes.
Exactly.
And he did nothing against it.
I'm saying the circumstance. So you played Green Bay, who's a great run defense, and you were down by 1 million points. They weren't running the ball.
Kansas City was down by 1 million points. It was the exact same thing, right? That Kansas City got super down, had to throw because they were getting blown out. They threw the ball to Ware, and he destroyed them.
Downfield. I'm just saying, to me, I would not sell TJ Yeldon at the lowest point you can possibly sell him right now.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
He's a keep, right? But is he a possible cut? Would you cut him for McKinnon?
Yep. I think I would.
It's just not realistic.
It's tough.
That's not a realistic situation.
I think I keep Yeldon, or you try to package him in a trade. Sometimes
if you
when
put that name together with another guy, put Yeldon and look, for me, put Yeldon and Tyrell Williams if you just snagged him. Put Yeldon and Will Fuller together and go get an A.J. Green. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
I think you're right on that. Right on the money. So that's a trade. All right, Thomas Rawls, keep, trade, cut.
You got to keep.
Yeah, you have.
There's no value to anything other than keeping.
You don't have a choice.
All right, let's talk about Sterling Shepard.
Oh, that's interesting.
Should we be trying to acquire Sterling Shepard?
I think that you're not going to get what happened last week where he went over a hundo. I think that will be
volume has been there though.
Right, but I think the 100 yards is the anomaly, not the new normal for Sterling Shepard. He's going to be fine, but I think he's a high-end wide receiver 3.
Sterling Shepard to me is a guy that, because of where he was drafted, my roster should be fine without him. And he is a big name who has such kind of sexy upside right now, And so if you can package him with someone, you're going to get a great player back, right? You're not packaging TJ Yeldon with someone to go get a great player, but Sterling Shepard might really sweeten the pot. So for me, I'm going to say I'm going to trade Sterling Shepard.
Will Fuller or Sterling Shepard rest of the season?
Fuller.
Okay. Shepard.
I'll take
Interesting.
Fuller.
Interesting.
You know,
All right.
I would say, Eli Manning has completed 74% of his passes.
Wow. That's incredible. Keep, trade, cut Sammy Watkins. Where is the temperature of Sammy Watkins? Because I still, for some reason, I feel like I should buy him because he's valued so low.
I was just going to say,
but if he's out for the year because something happens next week, then I really regret that.
I'm trying to keep him and just hope that in the second half he is ready to go.
Man, I'm a Sammy Watkins owner in a lot of leagues because I really like the talent. I can tell you, I am wanting to trade him. And so that might not be the right thing. Maybe I'm emotionally on tilt because of the worry. So Andy brings up a good point. Like, you're going to be able to get him affordably. It's just a matter of, are you a risky gambler and you want to take the high upside swing, then trade for him? I'm like the risk-adverse type of guy, and I don't want a guy that's going to, be shut down in 2 weeks for the rest of the season. So if I can get something for him now, I would. I think he is a trade away and a trade for, depending on what style of player you are.
All right, last question. Justin Forsett, keep, trade, cut. Put yourself in the same circumstances you just did with TJ Yeldon here. What do you do with Justin Forsett? Keep, trade, cut. And would you sign some of these waiver wire guys and drop Forsett?
Oh, man.
Last week, Forsett had a 55% snap count, I believe. And Terrence West was at 28%. So far this season, they're basically identical. 24 for 78 on the ground for Forsett, 23 for 74 on the ground for West. They almost have the same amount of targets, which is a big problem.
I think you have to keep him because what you're saying in the snap percentage.
What's your snack count?
My snack count is 100%. I'm pretty much always snacking.
Right.
I have some Warhead sour jelly beans over there that I've been snacking on.
Pretty tasty.
But I'm going to hold on to Justin Forsett. Remember, last year he got off to a slow start in weeks 1 and 2. From then on out until he got injured, he was an RB1. So I don't think it's impossible for him to do well, especially considering he's got the high snap count. In which case, if he comes out and does great this week, then I'm going to trade him in fear of Kenneth Dixon coming back.
All right, it's time to jump in.
Mailbag.
Mailbag! Yeah! All right, we love answering questions from the Foot Clan, from the listeners. If you have a question, head to the website, thefantasyfootballers.com. Click on the Submit a Question button. Send your question into the show, and we answer them from time to time, especially on Wednesdays when we do mailbag episodes. You can also dial our voicemail hotline, 302-464-TFFB. Leave us a voicemail question. We like to feature a few of those as well. Jake in Lemoore.
Lemoore?
Is that where you're from, Jason?
That's where all Moors are from.
Lemoore.
Yep.
All right, I have Antonio Brown, Brandon Marshall, Demarius Thomas, Kelvin Benjamin, Stefan Diggs.
Nice.
And I don't know who to play.
You trade.
I can see that.
I also have Fleener and Barnage, and I don't know who to play. Thank you for the advice. Love the show.
I packaged Demarius Thomas and Stefan Diggs, and I look for a trade as hard as I can because if I've got Antonio Brown, Brandon Marshall, and Kelvin Benjamin, I am fine. Go upgrade your running backs. However, we will now answer your question.
Okay.
Brown's an auto start every single week, no matter what.
I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, you can lean on our rankings, which come out later today. All of our, week 3 rankings. If you are making a start-sit decision between two players to put those guys in order, I mean, you are starting Brown every week. You're probably starting Benjamin every week.
I'm staying in the Flames.
And so at that point, you're looking at matchups, and you can see our projections on the website on the rankings tab. So, Patrick.
And I'd go Fleener over Barnage this week.
All right, here's a trade from David in Fort Worth. All right, he said, I have been offered a trade to receive Melvin Gordon in exchange for Jamal Charles. Good trade or bad trade?
It's a PPR, so that definitely factors into the equation. Oh, Jamal. Oh, I think I'm going to take Gordon.
Yeah.
What's the latest on Jamal? Is he playing this week?
We don't know yet.
I think it's possible he gets on the field this week, but we don't know. There is no confirmation on that. If he does come out, he's not a startable player because you have no idea if they're going to give him 2 carries or 10 carries, even if he plays. For me, I'm confident in Melvin Gordon the rest of the season. I'm not in Jamal Charles. I think I would take Melvin Gordon and I would not feel good about it.
So the latest
feel dirty.
The latest news from Jamaal Charles is Andy Reid said on Monday that Jamaal Charles himself told him directly that he wasn't quite ready to play. So Charles is the one who's saying, I'm not ready.
He's in charge?
Yeah. Well, I mean, usually you have the players like, I'm playing no matter what, and the training staff is like, whoa, we can't let you go out there. Charles is the one saying, I'm not ready.
All right.
Which,
So you take the trade.
I do.
All right. Mike in New York says, how serious are these guys? Am I crazy for thinking about moving Ingram for Diggs and
Yes.
B. Marsh for Melvin?
No.
Am I going to try and push an Ingram for Alshon A-Rob trade? Oh, he's going to, but Diggs is more realistic. Don't buy into Diggs as a top
there's
5
no
wide receiver.
There's no
don't
way
pay
I'm
that price.
I am not trading for Diggs right now. I am definitely trading Diggs right now, not because I don't believe he can be okay,
Sure.
but because his value is what you just asked. Should I be trading some top talent to go get Diggs? If other
Exactly.
people are willing to do that, you trade Diggs for top talent.
Mike Triplett, a beat reporter in New Orleans, even he has said, don't worry about Mark Ingram. It's going to get better for him.
I would not trade Ingram for Diggs. Now, Brandon Marshall for Melvin Gordon. Look, I like Brandon Marshall better. That's a
it's fair.
team-dependent move. I think the trade is fair. You're giving up more than you're getting, but because of position scarcity and positional needs, it could be a trade you could do.
All right. Let's look to this question here. Mickey in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Whew. That's not a real place.
Yeah, it sure is. We've had questions from Saskatoon before.
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
You need to get. You're always saying things like,
I think that's
like, all right, listen up, America. You're very nationalistic. You need to include the Saskatoons.
But is Saskatoon a city or is that a saloon?
It is both.
Because I feel like he's in Saskatchewan, but he's writing this in the saloon.
What if you go to a saloon in Saskatoon?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that a saloon in Saskatoon?
In Saskatchewan.
There you go.
And he ordered a sassafras sandwich.
A sarsaparilla.
Yeah, you didn't go with sarsaparilla. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Come on.
You really missed.
You get 2 minutes of silence.
Get out of our Saskatoon saloon.
All right, what? Does he have a
what's
question?
wrong? That's where all the handcuffs hang out. In my league of record, I went RB heavy and thought I had the position nailed after my draft with Doug Martin, Jamaal Charles, Latavius Murray, Ryan Matthews, and Rashad Jennings.
I like it.
My plan was to trade for a wide receiver, but none of my offers worked out in week 1, and now all of my guys are either injured or losing carries. Do I need to sell low, or can I afford to wait on all of them? You probably need to not sell low. You need to sell medium and not wait. And in my opinion, you need to package a couple of these guys together. If you can trade Rashad Jennings and Doug Martin together to get a prolific wide receiver right before Charles comes back into the fold and you still have Murray and Matthews, that's how I lean. I think you could do that. I think you could also wait.
Yeah. Medium is how they cook the steaks in the saloon.
Right.
In Saskatoon.
So that's what you need to do. Medium trade. Don't sell low, though. Don't sell low. I mean, what is selling low for Jamaal Charles now? It's terrible.
Yeah.
Flex option question from Jacob in Iowa City. Back in America, Mike, where you like it.
I have no problem with the world. I'm just very uninformed.
Brandon Marshall and Odell Beckham Jr. are my starting wide receivers.
Great.
So he wants to know who to start at his flex in week 3. Willie Snead, Marvin Jones, Will Fuller, or Julian Edelman.
Willie Snead.
Yeah.
You stay in the flames at home against the Falcons.
Yep. Yeah, you do.
It's Willie Snead.
Yeah, there's other
I
good
thought
options.
about trying to acquire him in a number of leagues.
Other good options, but I completely agree. It's got to be Snead.
Willie Snead.
All right. Here we go. This is somebody that is piggybacking on the trade debate question that we had on Monday and Tuesday. Very heated debate that we had that I clearly won from a legal, trading, and majority standpoint.
Yes, you
did.
did.
But otherwise I lost.
I will concede that.
Brandon in Cleveland. I'm not sure how I feel about this trade that went through during the weekend. On Sunday, 2 guys had agreed on a trade. Watkins for Zach Miller and a 2017 first-round pick in a dynasty league, but Watkins had already played on Thursday. The commissioner was on the receiving end of the Watkins trade, and the other guy wanted to be able to play Zach Miller this week, so they did a temporary trade in which was Zach Miller for a 4th-round pick. Once players unlock for trades, it will go through they will go through whatever they need to do to make the normal trade. Seemed like a workaround for a bylaw. I don't like it.
So what it sounds like to me, so they did a Zach Miller for a 4th because Watkins was locked, and then
so that he could play him.
And then they're going to trade it. They'll probably do a 2017 first and a 4th
right,
for Sammy Watkins.
That's fine.
I
I don't have a problem with it.
You think it's fine?
I think it's fine. You made a fair trade. Is the trade of a 4th for Zach Miller fair?
Yep.
Yes. Afterwards, if you wanted to trade
a 1 and a 4,
like I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah, you've skirted the rule.
Here's
I
the
don't
thing.
like it.
Here's why I don't like it, and this is the only reason. And I completely agree with what you guys are saying. I don't like it because it's the commissioner.
Yeah,
I don't like that it's the commissioner that's doing something to skirt the rules and work around a bylaw.
You made the rules.
The commissioner needs to be the most upstanding and upright individual in this group, not trying to weasel around a system. I hate this. I mean, I hate it when I see a commissioner taking advantage of their power.
No, here's the way that the commissioner is taking advantage is he's getting Sammy Watkins for a 2017 first-round pick. That's crazy. That's ludicrous. That's where the trade has a problem to me is just the value of the trade. People are in
someday
dynasty
you're
leagues.
going to put Sammy Watkins' foot inside your mouth and realize that this long-term Sammy Watkins play just may never come to fruition for you.
If I can get Sammy Watkins in any dynasty league for a 2017 first because people are overvaluing 2017 first,
and I agree
I'm doing that in 100% of those leagues.
I
go
agree
get
with you. I just wonder about the foot.
What is happening today?
I don't know. Greg in Cleveland, should I start Isaiah Crowell against Miami or Shady against Arizona?
You got to go with I'm going with Shady.
Okay. I like sentences that start with you got to go with and then you decide.
The brain was firing slowly on that one. Look, Crowell against Miami, rookie quarterback. I know that and there's Duke Johnson factored in. Crowell seems to be the primary guy, but Shady is getting all the running back touches, all of them for Buffalo, half PPR. You got to hope he can come through with some catches and a touchdown. I feel more confident in that.
I think it's close.
Now,
I really do.
Here's a story from Justin, and I have not read it, but I will be reading it now.
All right.
Oh,
Dear
this is
Ballers,
dangerous.
Wanted to share this story. Here's the story. Last week I had to give a presentation for work in front of about 30 people. Before the presentation, I was listening to the podcast, and I was working on painting a verbal picture of a situation in this meeting. And as I was about to give the other half of the scenario, the voice of public opinion burst onto the scene out of nowhere. And I painted the other side of the story with my best Jason voice of public opinion impression. And it shocked me. And those I was presenting to, but I think it really drove home my point.
Yes.
Thank you for your advice in making my work life a little more interesting.
Oh.
Do you have any questions for Justin?
But Justin, but Justin, why didn't you call me on the phone and get the real deal? I would have helped your presentation.
Are you going to start doing consulting business work now for the voice of public opinion?
I think I have to. This is serious business. He is a business.
But Chevron.
Oh, that's good. I'll tell you what. You know, the brand is proliferating everywhere. Pretty soon, you're going to be able to go to a restaurant and you're going to be able to order a Jason Moore.
Don't start this.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yes.
So Jason is. Oh, don't do that.
I need
of
to
all the
sound the
things we
horn.
need the Foot Clan for, this is the last. This is the bottom of the list. Everywhere we go, Mike gets an Arnold Palmer, and that's just Mike always gets an Arnold Palmer.
It's delicious.
Because okay, sell an Arnold Palmer to our audience.
No, sell a Jason Moore.
So Jason has discovered mixing Sprite with lemonade and
so
really
good.
enjoying this.
It's the best drink that exists.
To me, it's like a half carbonated like Sprite to me or something. But
it's like a half carbonated lemonade.
half carbonated anything doesn't sound good to me.
It's great.
But anyway, moving on. There's no real name for it.
So I call it the Jason Moore
So
when I
he's
go and I order.
He's trying to brand it the Jason Moore and talk casually about this.
And I need your help, America.
It's so
the world.
It's so ridiculous when you do it, though, because I'm thinking to myself, if you ever pay and they see your card,
Yeah,
that'll be but you never pay.
That's why I need the Foot Clan. The Foot Clan need to start ordering.
Well,
Jason
to
Moores.
be fair, what does Arnold Palmer do when he wants to
Thank you,
a
Mike.
beverage of his name.
Thank you, Mike.
He says half tea, half lemonade.
Oh.
No way. All right, let's get back to fantasy football here.
Eddie Lacy question from Jake in New York. Hey, guys, Eddie Lacy is scaring me again. The Packers don't look like they're committed to giving him the ball. Should I bail on him and sell him or just hold on him to wait and see? I'm going to use this as an opportunity to further emphasize what I said on after the show yesterday. We were talking about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, I believe, has gone 15 straight games, including playoffs, without a 300-yard game.
You're wrong. 11, and that's yeah.
Okay, 11 straight games without a 300-yard game. This was somebody who averaged around 300 yards a game 4 years ago.
He had many 300-yard games last year. They just happened to not be the very second half of the year. His last 300-yard game came against the Lions, who he's playing this week. Continue.
Was that on the Hail Mary game?
No.
Okay.
You guys have a problem. You have a serious problem. You're a Green Bay apologist up and down the street. Guess who else stinks right now? I'm going to say, look, here we go.
Oh, Andy's upset.
Randall Cobb stinks.
Sure.
Okay? Aaron Rodgers stinks in comparison to what you expect from him. When you trade for him right now, you're going to pay the iron price still, and he has not been that. Last year, what was he, 10, 7, somewhere around there?
The 7th best quarterback in
You're
fantasy
paying
football.
a 1 through 3 price for him. Give me Tom Brady over Aaron Rodgers rest of the season. Give me that type of a guy. Cobb stinks. Lacy stinks. Rodgers stinks in comparison. The offense has stunk.
You actually bring up a great point. If I could trade Aaron Rodgers to the team that has Tom Brady, who's obviously that's a backup quarterback for them right now,
and you'd get extra. You'd get
other
extra.
stuff.
What
I
about
would
just
make
the
that
1
deal.
for 1?
No,
I wouldn't do that. You're
you
losing
don't go,
a game.
even if you believe that that's good, you're losing the value of the player in that situation. So I wouldn't go because there's lots of guys that circumstance exists for.
But you make a package deal with Aaron Rodgers, someone else, upgrade this someone else,
Sure.
and get Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You could stream for a week. I like it. 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. So, anyways, I guess that was not an answer to your question, although it was a perfect
we already
answer to your
answered
question.
his question earlier.
So if you're with Jason and Mike and you're living in 2014, then don't be scared.
I will say
I
this.
didn't say don't be scared.
I will say this in your defense. I don't think Jordy Nelson looks like Jordy Nelson to me. He doesn't look like 2014 Jordy Nelson yet. I do expect them to turn it around. I really do. And so I think you nailed it when you said, right now I'm a Green Bay apologist. I am still, in the Greek sense of the word, apologizing for Green Bay.
Yeah. All right. We are going to wrap it up.
Hey, before we close out the show, thanks again to the 5-4 Club. Hey, look, we know
I'm wearing 5-4 right now.
You might not have time to shop. I hate shopping, and 5-4 handles it. They make me look good. They make Jason
They don't
look
even
good.
let you into stores.
They make me look good, and that's hard.
Yes, that's very difficult to make Jason look good. If you're curious how
Palatable.
easy,
They make you palatable.
if you're curious how easy 5-4 Club is, go to 54club.com. Use the promo code BALLERS. You're going to get 2 packages with your first order. That's $60 for a $240 value worth of clothing. That's the promo code BALLERS, and the offer ends September.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get into the shows tomorrow as well with the matchups start tomorrow. We've got our starts of the week. Still my favorite segment of the week. Going to deliver some guys that we really like for week number 3. Excited tomorrow, too. We're going to preview the Thursday night game.
Our rankings will be up late tonight.
Rankings will be up late tonight. A bunch of great articles hit the website, including the FanDuel GPP picks article, which is out soon, and the snap count observation article. So you can get – is that the snap count? You actually snap for it? I'd never thought about doing that. Mike is a very, very good snapper.
I think outside the box. Yeah, whistling and snapping are my –
Oh, show your whistling skills. That's no joke.
Now is not the time.
No,
now
I
is
agree
not the
with
time.
that. So
all right, but someday.
we've got good stuff coming the rest of this week, and we also have the extra show tomorrow for the jointhefoot.com listeners. And make sure you check out Fantasy Jocks. They're our studio partner. You hear about them at the beginning of every show, and they have trophies, championship rings, and we give a lot of that stuff away every month over on Join the Foot as well. So check them out. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Join our fantasy football community on jointhefoot.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.